machine has a great selection of key stitches to choose from, and we've sewn them out on this piece of fabric so you can see what they look like. There are 3 different lengths of straight stitch, and which one you sew depends on the fabric you're sewing: lightweight, medium, or heavyweight fabrics, maybe even the long one for top stitching. There's a narrow, medium, and wide zigzag, and you can use them decoratively for attaching trims, for seam finishing, and so on. There's a blind hem stitch, a multi-step zigzag, maybe for elastic insertion or decorative, and even a scallop stitch. So let's take a look and see how to select a stitch and sew. I'm going to turn the dial until my medium length straight stitch is lined up with the mark at the top of the machine. Let's see how that looks when we sew it out. So I'm going to place the fabric underneath the foot, lower the presser foot lifter, and then step on the foot control to start sewing. When you come to the end of your fabric, turn your hand wheel toward you until the needle is all the way up and then just begins to come down. You can raise the presser foot lifter, and if you like, you can trim your threads with a scissor or use your thread cutter here at the side of the machine. When you use your thread cutter at the side, it trims your threads long enough so when you begin sewing again, the needle won't come unthreaded. And here's our straight stitch. Next, let's try one of our zigzag stitches. So I'm going to continue turning the dial until my widest zigzag stitch here is lined up with the mark at the top of the machine. Place my fabric under the presser foot with both threads under the foot and toward the back. Lower the presser foot lifter and then step on the foot control to begin sewing. Of your fabric, continue turning your hand wheel till the needle is all the way up and just begins to come down. And raise your presser foot lifter and trim your threads. There's your zigzag stitch. Now let's try one that's really popular for elastic insertion and for decorative sewing, and that would be your multi-step zigzag. It's right here. You can also use it for seam finishing. And you just turn the dial until it's lined up with the mark on your machine. Place your fabric underneath the foot, lower the presser foot lifter, and step on the foot control to begin sewing. When you come to the end of the fabric, turn the hand wheel toward you till the needle is all the way up and just begins to come down. Raise the presser foot lifter and trim your threads. There's your multi-step zigzag. And last, let's try that scallop stitch. I'm going to turn the stitch selector dial until the scallop stitch is lined up with the mark on the machine. Place my fabric underneath the foot, lower the presser foot, and begin sewing. And once again, when you come to the end of your fabric, turn the hand wheel always toward you till the needle is all the way up and just begins to come down. Raise the presser foot lifter and trim your threads. And there's your beautiful scallop stitch. It's really easy to pick your stitches because the stitch length and stitch width are pre-selected for you, so you just turn the dial and sew. You can try experimenting with different kinds and colors of threads, different types of threads. The choice is yours. If you'd like more information about your machine's stitches, you can view your machine's instruction manual online on the Singer website anytime.